With a family business, of course, you have all the usual sources of dispute. So lots of contractual disputes, employment disputes, all the usual sorts of things that you would see with any trading business. But with a family business, you have this extra level, of course, where because the business ideally will move down as the family grows, there's going to be succession issues at that time. Now, you might hope that the succession will be smooth, but it is a very, very challenging time for a family and for a business. And unfortunately, it does often result in disputes. So an example of a family business succession dispute would be if a family business owner leaves no will, which may not be a disaster because the intestacy provisions would kick in and they ensure that the assets don't just dissipate. They go to members of the family in certain proportions. But inevitably, that's a really blunt tool, and it's rarely appropriate for any person, let alone a person with substantial or complex family business interests. Alternatively, you might have a will, but it could be badly drafted. Or another, in fact, quite common source of a family business succession dispute is where the will is perfectly drafted, but what it says is controversial. And it's controversial and surprising. The effect of litigation on the family business is potentially very severe. So the first thing that you probably need to think about in terms of the business is, as the dispute is growing and looking like it's going to become contentious and moving from what we call pre-action, so before any actual litigation has commenced, as that's happening, the family business owners, the shareholders, probably on the board as well, they need to get together and they need to agree a communication strategy to the employees. Because if the employees get wind of a dispute over the business, the shareholding, will it be broken up? Will it be sold? What's going to happen? It's hugely demotivating for those employees. So that's communicating to the non-family employees. But obviously there may be key people who are family employees. Often you've got, the CEO, members of the board, their family members. Inevitably, they are totally distracted by the litigation. And during that time, decisions aren't taken, so opportunities are lost, risks aren't taken. The attitude of the business is just hunker down and survive, and that's extremely dangerous, as you can imagine. To settle before you get anywhere near a claim in court, because it's so damaging to have your family business be the subject of litigation. So absolutely put all your efforts into attempting to settle. So another key priority for a family business, which might be suffering from a succession dispute issue, is to think about publicity. So we look at this a lot, and in the pre-action part of a dispute, things are ideally private and confidential, and you would hope that leaks won't get out, and you'll manage carefully the communications with your employees in the business. But once things have become litigious and a claim has been launched, at that point the claim is itself a public document. Journalists can work a lot with a little bit of information in a claim form, and things will hit the papers. Keep the temperature down. Take a deep breath before you say things to your siblings or before you write emails at midnight on a train in a stress. Select your advisors very carefully. So, advisors who are going to be collaborative and keep the temperature down are going to serve the business and the family well. Advisors who are going to whip things up, encourage aggression, encourage unconstructive outbursts, they're going to help the case hurtle towards the courts. The top way to avoid litigation is to have maximum amounts of communication and transparency before death, before your will is put into practice. Whatever communication works best for you with your family, do that. Do it often. Have a transparent discussion about your plans. Listen to what their thoughts are. You may find that one child has no interest in the family business, another desperately wants to be the CEO. Whatever those wishes are, listen to them. That doesn't mean that you need to implement them, but they need to be heard. a lot of people find it difficult to communicate about their estate planning. So I would really recommend, when there's challenging emotional or logistical things to discuss, just hire a mediator for a morning. It doesn't cost very much, but it could save a lot of money in the long run.